Hey guys. Well, I was gonna wait until tomorrow night, but decided to go live tonight because
Good morning, everyone.
there is
You're
just a
watching Full
lot
Spectrum Travel with these
going
morning's
on.
breaking news. A senior U.S. Congress,
And I know I say that all the time.
United States of America has
But
already lost 39 aircraft since the Good morning, everybody. You are watching Full Spectrum Survival as we look at an Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, as I seen 7 days ago. All right, so title of the live tonight. We have about a year. That's what they're saying, roughly, before everything just really starts to change dramatically to the point to where it's pretty much impossible to continue living normal like we have been. So, what are we going to do to get ready? I want to bring to your attention things that have been going on. I'm only going to touch on bits and pieces of these videos. This one was actually a week ago from Full Spectrum, so I'm going to get right into it. The title is Red Alert.
On the ground. SB40
Chernobyl was on fire.
Florida's water resources from data centers.
Users under watch.
Reality on the ground.
Okay, so here we go.
SB44 also protects Florida's water.
I'm not even going to try to like show you the screen because of the reflection.
I think most people who've been living in Florida.
So we'll just have to listen to it.
I just don't believe it, folks. Florida's doing a lot of great things on paper, but they're going to make up that missed money somewhere. We haven't seen that other shoe drop.
Is it right that those making under $184,500, their effective payroll tax rate is roughly 12.4%? That's right. The statutory rate is 6.2%, but consensus view is that the employee pays, basically the employer cost is passed on to the employee. And so
that sounds about right, doesn't it? A scam, right? Force fed down our throat.
I finished
employee basically
the big garden.
12.4%. So for anybody earning $104,500, what is the effective payroll tax for someone making $1 million a year? So they would pay the 12.4% on that first $185,000 roughly, and then would not pay additional tax on labor income above that amount. And so that math would work out to about 2.2%.
The more money you make, the higher you're up in the class system of America, and the less they steal from you. Make some sense to all of us. I don't want to talk about that because YouTube is looking at it a little bit strangely right now. Here's another video of that eruption. During the negotiation.
Are you considering maybe going back to that now that gas prices are more than $4?
Well, no, gas prices have come down today. Have you looked? They've come down very substantially.
I will do a video tomorrow.
They come down substantially. I don't know. It still costs me.
I'll probably go ahead and lay cardboard.
The United States
and
of America is
the new garden spot in the strawberry bed.
Some of the U.S. Secret Service convoy being spotted inside of China.
I'm gonna work on
Pine saying we talked about
getting
this
some more area cleaned out.
That they were right now running out of money in the consumer market. Some more video of the eruption. This is an interesting representation. This poster says that while you are told to stop keeping cows because they're bad for the environment, look at what the data centers do for the environment.
Bij een groot datacenter is in technische ruimte. Zijn praktijk.
Burning fossil fuels into the air nonstop. Secret Service. This Secret Service was positioned on top. These were snipers. As you can see, positioned on top, you can see the barrel of the sniper rifle right there. Overwatch and spotters right here. Another guy on comms behind him. This was as the president inspected the progress on the pool project.
Cheers.
I spoke to him, I just said, tell him,
Well, folks, I want to thank you for being here with us. Remember, you don't have to worry about these things. I'm going to tell you what's going on in our world, give you a chance to know what's happening without the concern. I do the scrolling so that you don't have to. I'm thankful. I'm blessed to be able to give that service to you every day. Please share this video off site. Put it on x.com, Facebook, text, and email.
Okay.
Type this video down below.
I think I got it, that only part of it. Oh, I did.
Reality on the ground. Reality on the ground.
Okay, I didn't realize that was.
You are not going to believe what I have to tell you on this afternoon's Red Alert News. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival. The Taliban and Iranian officials are now collaborating on what they call the development of an operation capable of monitoring users inside of Afghanistan and inside of Iran. This application will surveil and enhance surveillance capabilities. It will expose smartphone and interconnected devices, monitoring systems for the General Directorate of Intelligence. In short, they're getting smart to what the Americans do to our citizens. I want to look at what we have going on around the world. We have Marco Rubio in his discussion. U.S. consumer sentiment has fallen to its lowest level ever. Lowest level
I don't
ever.
know what that
You're
was.
looking back at the 1970s on the
Oh.
left side of this graph. Graph from the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. What you can see is everybody knows this game is over.
No.
What, if you fire a drone or a missile at our destroyer, what are we supposed to do? Let it hit it? We have to respond to it. We have to knock down the missile. We have to knock out whatever it is that launched that missile. The alternative is to let it sink one of our ships. That's crazy. So of course we responded to it.
Well, yeah, but the point is, if there's not much seizing in the firing, because we
Well, you should ask that of the Iranians. Don't ask me. We didn't fire this on us. My point is, if
Listen to how the news, the media tries to phrase this conflict. Folks, you have to realize we are in a world in which war takes place. There is no diplomacy without military involvement. This war is about to get bigger and bigger because China is making serious moves on Taiwan, and they're making them today. They haven't fired a missile yet. They haven't blockaded the sea, but they're starting. And so we're watching all of these events. Please make sure you are subscribed. Hit that bell alert so that you get alerted every time a new video comes out. You'll just get it in your email saying, hey, we just put out a new video. Gives you a chance not to miss what's going on, because I want you to not worry about these things. I want you to go about your daily life, know what's happening, and when it's time to make moves, you make those moves. Let's see what else we've got.
normalize a country claiming to control an international waterway, because if you normalize that and you set a precedent, that's going to get repeated in a dozen other places. And if the answer is no, we don't want to normalize it, then you better have something more than just strongly worded statements to back it up. Here's a more fundamental problem. Iran now claims that they have a right to control an international waterway. They claim that they have a right to control it. What is the world going to do about that? To accept.
So what they're doing is bringing to the United Nations a chance for other countries, when they didn't get involved, as Donald Trump asked them to now say, okay, we're going to get involved. When that fails, you're going to see not just a blockade, not just ship seizing, not just oil go up a little bit. You're going to see a collapse. We're already seeing a collapse of the United States of America's threat posture. In our threat posture, we used to be able to say jump, and our enemies would say how high. Now we've said jump, says no, you jump instead. We're looking at a world of change, and Russia are watching these developments. This is the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Everybody knows Chernobyl, right? Radioactive material on the ground, high incidence rates of cancer and other development issues. immune system issues inside and outside of the region. Very close to an apocalypse. Now there's a wild pushing all of this material into the air.
Go out.
Iranian Navy commandos released a video showing them seizing or so-called violating by the USA Ocean Koi. They detained it for an attempt to disrupt the oil exports and interests of the supreme leadership of Iran.
All right, I need one.
When I watch these videos, there's some music, so I muted it. It reminds me of a 1990s American, Chuck Norris video. I don't know how they expect people to believe that they just happened to bring the camera guys with them. They obviously recreated this after the event, but there's some crazies out there, so we just have to watch and see what they do. This is a deadly eruption at Mount Kukono in Indonesia. This took place yesterday. Multiple hikers were caught in the eruption. Again, this is part of our world reacting very strangely at this time.
Oh my, many people out there.
Sending a volcanic ash into the sky. Here we have Stalin saying that he's not going to walk away and plunge.
People
the country
will
into
stop
chaos.
in front of the house, like on Wright Road,
The country into chaos.
and then sit there and do I don't even know what. It's like, dude, go away. Don't stop and gawk.
Interests of the people of the nations at
After
hand.
everything our family's been
I'm
through,
not afraid to tell you that.
no.
This is a little bit more on that volcanic eruption in Japan. We have JD Vance discussing what is happening in Venezuela.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Taking out addiction ways. Number one, it allows us to put
What
leverage
about
on our
Quay?
enemies. Number two, it makes sure that if Americans need high quality, low cost power, we're always going to have access to it. And then the third thing is it does demonstrate American military
Eat your food if you're
excellence,
that worried
which makes
about it.
people afraid to cross us in the future. Some of the best ways that you maintain the peace
Okay.
is to make it clear that you carry a very strong
reality on the ground.
Real. Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Full Spectrum Survival with this morning's breaking news. I didn't even know that they were going after Venezuela's enriched uranium. I just saw a picture.
Yes,
of
I'm being
those
bad and
behind
having
of trains
chips.
hauling cylinders and shipping containers out of the country.
I
The
should.
United States of America says that we are repatriating the Venezuelan uranium so that we can use it in the United States of America. The U.S. government says that this is a win for the entire country as the U.S. reaps the spoils of taking over that country. Right now, one tick bite, and you will never eat red meat again in your life. They warned you that red meat was bad for you, and then when that didn't work and the science came back and said that red meat's really actually
Be on the
pretty good
lookout
for you.
for ticks.
And then they said, well, it causes too many cows to flatulate the earth and it ruins our earth. And all of the citizens said, well, you can kind of screw off. And then they came out and said, well, we can just develop a syndrome which makes people intolerant to it. And then now we have the great coincidence of a tick-borne disease that is capable of causing alpha-gal syndrome. This is Lone Star tick bites. The CDC estimates that 450,000 Americans are currently affected. And the biggest concern to me, hunters and farmers are saying that they're not only seeing explosive numbers in areas all across the United States of America.
Get guineas for your
they're
property
saying
if you
they're
can.
finding packages
They will eat
full of
ticks.
thousands.
So will ducks.
Why is that happening and who is doing it is something that we need to keep a very close eye on. This is a data transfer that has been broadcasting for over 90 hours. It's on the U.S. military shortwave radio network. We have no idea what they're saying. We just know that communication in this time of conflict is ongoing. All right, let's move forward from that. Here is an Iraqi
ducks
inside
and
of the
guineas
United
both
States of
eat
America. This
ticks.
is one area's District 5.
So if you
Listen to
can,
what he has to say and tell me your
get
thoughts
one
on
or the other or both.
Without the government support, I cannot stay maybe a month or 2 months.
Pima County Chairman Rex Scott told News for Tucson he's deeply concerned about the impact on local refugees and
So this refugee from the country of Iraq said that without your tax money, without you paying his food and his housing, his electricity subsidization, his water subsidization, his health care, he can't stay in this country. In my opinion, that means you can't stay in this country. It's bad enough that the United States of America is a place that is hard for hard-working American citizens to be able to get by with the price increases, the corrupt inflation, the corruption happening in government, the taxes, the gas. It's hard enough for us to live. And yet we have the audacity of individuals who have been brought here from other countries saying that if we don't give them more, they're just going to have to leave.
Well, leave. Don't
That's
let
kind
them-
of like one of your worst friends who always treats you
Or hit on the
badly
way
saying,
out.
if you don't do what I
Exactly.
say, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. Well, it's time to not let the door hit you in the behind.
Just what we
This is a
said.
pretty scary view of our situation right now. Gas price over $5 a gallon. This person just sits there and watches the great American economy take from them. I'm just going to skip through it because we've got a minute 18 as the price just goes up and up and up and up. Now, I have a very multi-purpose vehicle. It's a large tank. It's a diesel truck. It's a dual-wheeled. It's four-wheel drive.
Ouch.
The climate engineers hate me, literally hate me. Well, now it costs me around $200 to fill it up, but thankfully we have our homestead going. I don't really have to go anywhere. So without an emergency or having to go pick up a group member or do something like that, I don't have to. But $200 is freaking crazy.
And before we came on, you mentioned that even in the United States, by the end of July, if this keeps up, we'll run out of inventory. Right now, we're drawing down inventory. That's, shall we say, kind of cushioning the blow, so to speak. But when the oil inventories run out, then you have a real shortage, and the price will really spike. And if you look at different regions, of course, they're running out of oil at different rates because they had different inventory levels. So if you look at
So that was World Affairs in Context with Steve Hank discussing exactly what they expect here in the United States of America in the next couple of months. That if this situation continues just for another month, we're going to run completely out of inventory in the USA. You're going to see another gas price spike, and there's an expectation through law enforcement because messages are being sent out right now that they expect unrest to break out inside of the USA as the food and fuel crisis begins that pyramid that always brings about revolution. It's a 3-point trigger that they know happens every time. It happened in Egypt, their civil unrest. Happened in Syria's civil war. It's happened in Iraq. It has happened all over the world, and it's happened here. When the American people's food, fuel, and security, their shelter, become outpriced, they will revolt. And so that's part of the things that you and your family are preparing for right now. Folks, please hype this video.
Get prepared, you guys.
Down there somewhere, please click the hype button and put as many points as you can into it. It helps YouTube get this out into the eyes of other people.
Get prepared.
Now, I've heard a lot of stories about scams, wasteful spending during Hurricane Helene recovery, but when the dust settled on this $225 million, what's absolutely mind-blowing is that only $3 million of that entire budget was set aside for residential homes.
Nobody's going to come to your
According
rescue.
to-
You got to
So
be able
what
to
do
do it
they
yourself.
build back? Well, it's what they care about the most. Critical infrastructure. Large corporations will come in and buy your house just like they're doing with the data centers. Folks, we have a big problem that is brewing in.
Hang on to
United
your
States
property,
of
hang on to
America
your
right now.
house.
We have a growing fertilizer crisis.
Hang
that
on
is
to your
slaying
homesteads.
Asia at the worst time possible. It's now threatening, according to American strategists, it's threatening global food supply. You see, millions of farmers right now are supposed to be planting their crops. Countries like India, Vietnam, China, Thailand, these are the most critical rice producing nations of our entire world. It's made it so that this wave of price increases, the farmers aren't even doing it. They're like, hey, we'll check it back next year and see. In Thailand, they reported prices exploding up to 3 times. Vietnam is facing mounting pressure.
That's
Now, this
crazy.
is not just local communities in Asia that has to worry about this. Rice is an essential staple.
All right, so there, I want to get down to the one that I was. The next one.
Good morning, everybody. You are watching Full Spectrum Survival as we look.
Okay, this was talking about an internet blackout.
Thank you guys for making it back to Full Spectrum Survival with this afternoon's Red Alert News. Yesterday, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard said that their missiles were locked onto American targets and that the aggressor of the enemy of the United States of America would have the targets basically blown out of the sky and blown out of the sea. Iran is right now preparing a full sovereign control assertion. They're doing this over the undersea internet cables that pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Foreign entities say that the Iranians are claiming to have internet. You will need to obtain permits, pay transit fees, and be loyal to the Iranian government. Now, these cables carry up to 20% of the world's internet and financial data. They say that they're going to cut them off if the United States of America and Israel continue the blockade. The
I could
United
just make
States
some of
appears
that, but
to
I don't
execute
have
a
hardly any
calculated
almond
military
butter.
operation
I'll have
for
some more of that tomorrow. If
This
I
is
can.
said to be one that has forced the Revolutionary Guard to expose parts of their hidden, so far secretive, naval and missile infrastructure. That confrontation involved multiple U.S. destroyers. It operated in the strategic waterway rather than transiting around the region. The ships reportedly were invisible targets that were meant to provoke an Iranian response. It looks like Iran took the bait. For years, Tehran has relied on what they call asymmetric strategy that was built around fast attack boats, drone and coastline missile launchers.
That little piece
The
of flour
American
on the floor, I can
destroyers
find it.
were backed by advanced surveillance and targeting capability. As Iranian
Little
assets
yogurt bar.
initiated new and aggressive activity, U.S. drones, satellites, and aircraft worked together to lock onto their signatures and attack them in real time. Now, reports show that targets included positions around Quesh Island, Bandar Kamir, and Sarik. They hit missile infrastructures, drone staging areas, fast attack boat hubs, and weapons storage facilities while no Americans and no targets took a hit. Tensions in the Middle East are rapidly escalating, and this is after Israel says that no diplomatic solution with Iran will be reached. They have informed their military and the USA. Any renewed fighting must include the complete and utter destruction of Iran's energy infrastructure within a 24-hour wait. According to this report, several Arab nations are also said to have supported the targeting of this infrastructure, and this reflects growing regional support. Israel has now been.
We'll move on.
Airplane mode, they still have. So your phone, your spy device, operates on 2 levels. And it's kind of like how your organs Good afternoon, everyone. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival with today's Red Alert News. The President of the United States of America has issued an alert to the world through the White House. He said that Iran has been playing games with the United States of America and the world for over 47 years. And they want to do nothing but delay the inevitable.
No, I wouldn't.
He warns that when Barack Hussein Obama became president, Barack was not only good to the Iranian people, he was great going to their side, jettisoning Israel, jettisoning American allies, and giving Iran a major and very powerful new lease on life. This was done through hundreds of billions of dollars, $1.7 billion, according to the White House and the President of the USA, in green cash, your tax money, flown into that country, handed to them on a silver platter. Every bank in DC, Virginia, and Maryland was emptied out. It was so much money that the Iranians had no idea what to do with it. They had never seen money in these amounts before, and they will never see money like this again. That's Trump's warning. It was taken off the plane in suitcases and satchels. They finally found the greatest sucker of them all. He says this was a disaster. For 47 years, the Iranians have been tapping us along, keeping us waiting, and killing people with roadside bombs, destroying protests, and recently wiping out 42,000 innocents. Not again. Donald Trump warns they will be laughing no longer.
Really?
Listen to Netanyahu.
I don't know.
Is the war with Iran over? And if it isn't, who will decide when it is?
I think it accomplished a great deal, but it's not over because there's still nuclear material, enriched uranium that has to be taken out of Iran. There's still enrichment sites that have to be dismantled. There's still proxies that Iran supports. There are ballistic missiles that they still want to produce. Now, we've eliminated a lot of it.
I'm still kind of hungry.
All of that is still there.
I actually
And
not
there's work to be
eaten
done.
lunch very soon.
So that warning from Netanyahu that the war is not over and there is still work to be done. This lines up exactly what the president, United States of America, President Donald Trump says. I want you to listen to this and kind of draw your own conclusion.
Hi, baby.
So is it accurate to say you think the combat operations are over and done? But they're
No, I didn't say that. I said they are defeated, but that doesn't mean they're done.
Just chasing that.
We could go in for 2 more weeks and do every single target. We have certain targets that we want to do, and we've done probably 70% of them. But we have other targets that we could.
So I think as we listen to Trump saying the war isn't over and then
Get ready.
Netanyahu right here.
Get ready, you
Is
guys.
the war with Iran over? And if it
Telling
isn't,
you
who will
guys,
decide
get your
when it is?
homestead started, get your gardens planned,
It's a great deal, but it's not over.
get things done, get your homesteading books.
You go in and you take it out. Why not? That's the best way.
What if there isn't an agreement? Can it be taken out by force?
Get your plan
Well,
together
ask me these questions. I'm going to dodge them.
to be able to
I'm not
live
gonna
without
talk about
electricity.
the return.
You can do it.
I'm just trying to get at how long is it going to take to achieve that?
It takes a lot of work,
I'm not going to give a timetable to it, but I'm going to say
but you can do it.
Is the war with
So
Iran?
there's Netanyahu never going to give a timetable. They've been telling us that they were 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon for the last.
I've been in
200
a
years.
situation where I've been without electricity for 2 weeks.
The American people to see look how close they are, not willing to give a timetable now that we are militarily engaged with this.
No, it's been quite a while,
Here's the Indian
but
Prime Minister. They are calling on.
and I wasn't in
citizens
charge of the
to
situation.
conserve
My mom and dad
fuel.
were.
In the interest of the country, work from home. Don't use fuel.
I was a kid.
I'm going to read it to you. He says, now keeping the country supreme and Mother India
No.
supreme.
I'm not getting you anything.
Mother India, we will have to fight unitedly.
Nebula, you have
We
food.
have to remember
Unless you ate it
that we
all.
are dying
there's still a little
for the
bit in there.
country. The dying for the country is not the only patriotism.
Okay.
Living for the country and fulfilling one's duties toward the country. This, he
Oh,
says,
man.
is also patriotism. Now, this is the Prime Minister to India. Multiple countries around the world are right now telling their citizens, don't go to work. Be ready for potential blackout events, information blackouts, potential restrictions on transportation. supply chain problems, but they're not even getting to the
I'm gonna try
Worse
really
than
hard to see if I can get a job
I've
working
put
from
together
home.
an analysis of what is happening right now. Everything from Taiwan with China. Now, the Taiwanese military.
All right, next one.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival with today's Red Alert News.
All right. I skipped over these ones.
And my biggest concern is that we are literally watching the new world government being.
Okay. He's talking about USA land takeover on this one.
Says that we are ready to enrich uranium up to 90% if even one more missile is sent from the United States of America or Israel into Iranian territory. According to U.S. officials, including the Energy Secretary Chris Wright, they have now told lawmakers that we must act on Iran immediately. They are, according to their words, frighteningly close to the creation of a nuclear weapon. He says that we are weeks away from weapons-grade enrichment, noting that weaponization will still be required afterwards, but they already have all of the infrastructure ready to do that. They've added that the enrichment, as it sits at 60+%, is much closer to the 90% level needed for weapons-grade material and much above the 3 to 5% necessary for all civilians, including medical uses. Over in Russia, that country was supposed to collapse financially under the Great American Sanctions of 2024. Instead, the country of Russia adapted. They shifted their economy to a wartime footing. They pushed up their military-industrial supply chains, their energy trades with countries like China and the BRICS nations. They have built an alternative that now threatens the entire economy of the United States dollar. On May 12th, Russia just tested their RS-28, the Sarmat or Satan II intercontinental ballistic missile, traveling 5,500 kilometers in 30 minutes. The Russian officials say that this missile system met 100% of its objectives, and Vladimir Putin said that it will be combat ready by the end of this year. According to the military, it's combat ready today. Known by NATO as Satan II, this replaces the old Soviet-era missile system, considered the heaviest ICBM in any active nuclear arsenal of our planet. Russian officials claim that it can carry 16 independently targeting nuclear warhead. It has the potential, according to the U.S. military, to bypass America's Arctic-focused missile warning system that flies over the South Pole. The launch is hitting major geopolitical developments. We see them all unfolding this week. The BRICS just controlled their new development bank opening in Moscow meeting.
I'm not cold.
They're now operating as an alternative to the World Bank, the IMF, and the USD. At the same time, Donald Trump is expecting to make major changes across the entire world. While Russia's economy remains under strain, we see oil and gas revenues changing year over year. The United States just responded with a renewed Arctic military positioning system.
Can I ask some of your
Reports indicate that Donald Trump and this administration will be establishing multiple U.S. bases in Greenland that are, for all intents and purposes, United States territory.
Why? I'm starting to have a
Now, these
problem
actions
with
that were
this
intended
too.
to isolate Russia, they instead accelerated what some people say was the inevitable. Folks, I want to get to some of the video that we have to cover in today's broadcast. Remember, I do the scrolling so that you and your family do not have to. You're going to look here at another warehouse fire, this time right near Donald Trump over in China, this time in Taiwan. It is no coincidence that we have these recycling plants, these warehouse fires, these oil refinery fires, these drone attacks, these sabotage events, these infrastructural attacks, energy systems under attack. Each one of these accidents are actually all working toward the same objective.
So good, so healthy for you too.
Yeah.
Here's Donald Trump, the greatest corporation in the United States, in the world, the United States of America, walking with a massive entourage as he comes into the country, bringing with the United States large CEOs that are going to bring about a new order in the world.
We are rebuilding the industrial base that underpins our deterrent. Production of new plutonium pits at Los Alamos National Laboratory has surged with a goal to produce 100 pits by the end of the Trump administration. We're accelerating production of uranium components, high explosives, and other critical weapons materials. We're making breakthroughs in the science that underpins our stockpiles. Last year, the National Ignition Facility achieved
see this one.
Good morning.
There was an attack in Alabama.
Good morning, everyone. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival. I have some breaking news here for you. We just got alerts from Shell and other oil corporations. They just put out these alerts to Costco and Sam's Club and Walmart. They told them that their shelves are going to be motor oil. We had another alert come out from a supplier saying that retailers can expect a 35% increase in the motor oil cost in the next 35 days. They can expect another increase if this conflict with Iran continues on. We did just have a potential sabotage terror event take place in the United States of America yesterday. This was in Mobile, Alabama. The Gulf Coast Regional Maritime Response Team, they believe that they recouped and detonated an improvised explosive device at the Converse Reservoir Dam. This is just one of multiple attacks against infrastructure that we have seen in the USA. Oil refineries on fire. We have warehouses on fire. Purposeful, according to some investigators, wildfire events taking place all across our nation. A couple of weeks ago, the nation of Iran put out an encrypted message that the CIA and the FBI believe, according to open source intelligence, was a directive. And this directive was telling their operators who are openly inside of the USA right now to start, to begin acting. And they said, do not all act at once. Attack a power plant here, light a warehouse on fire over here. Put a church on fire over here. Drive a car through this street and busy area, this crowd right here. Attack a bar over here. This is a multi-coordinated attack against the United States of America. Now, I, for one, believe that both China and America are engaging in what could be a one-world government. As Donald Trump made his way over to China and the niceties that were being discussed between these nations with techno-mafia leaders entering into this country, I believe that we are looking at possibly a page that is turning. Now, my mission is for you and your family to be prepared. Now, Israel, at this point in time, they're ready, their maximum alert to maximum readiness. They are prepared to re-engage the country of Iran militarily. They say, give us a week, and they will wipe out all of Iran's infrastructure. Now, they're already under information blackout, and that's what's coming for the USA. First, it's going to be attacks against people who speak out or gather information. The second stage is going to be the blacking out of that information. So you being able to call your family member, done. You being able to turn on the lights, done. Access to internet, limited. Continuity of government plans, instituted. These are events that are coming. It is not so often that we get on this channel and so heavily discuss what is about to happen. We kind of cover all of the spoilers so that we don't have to, so that you can remain aware of what is already happening. But I'm talking about tomorrow. The next couple of weeks, inside of the USA, inside of our country and the world are going to be concerning. Now, it's enough for me to step back and say, okay, I need to make sure that my family is secure. I need to make sure that our survival is secure. And my biggest threat is food. We just saw the month of April experience the highest
just took
food
a bath. I don't
inflation
even take
that
another
the
one.
entire country experienced in any month since it broke records during COVID.
You just pick
They're
it.
going to slap on another 30 to 50% to your food prices. And the rice makers, the rice swaps are already saying that they're done. Wheat farmers have reduced their yield by 35%. Fertilizer prices are being tuned right into your final retail price. And this is an attack against the middle class. They are right now transferring real wealth out of their weekly paycheck into corporations,
I was gonna
into taxes, into government. You are never going to see the same ability to thrive that you saw in the year 2019. Please get land. Please build a survival group. Hunt, fish, spend time at the range, stockpile food, grow one tomato. I don't care if it's one single tomato. If you're like me, these stuff don't look black. They're at best.
I have started to lose a little bit of
I
weight.
guess I take the gray man tactic to heart because I can.
The last couple days I've been
I
eating
can
very
make
good.
sure
I had
it dries,
pizza yesterday. I have felt kind of.
than I could ever imagine. But
I was
that's
gonna make
because
a salad tonight. I was just too tired.
and that's how we get it through.
I did 25 buckets of dirt today in that garden.
Freezer. Make sure that you have surveillance outside of your house. Make sure that you understand
Your garden's going, you guys.
And I'm going to
So
be
important.
surprised here. If we make it to 2029 with the United States of America as we know it today, politicians already say the Civil War is here.
Yep.
We just haven't seen the shops yet. The military has already produced quick reaction forces that are deeply embedded and ready to go in every American state.
No.
Resource grabs, land grabs,
No.
affronts to your ability to
No.
thrive, medicine corruption, insurance scams. Tell me one area that we're thriving in. If anything, it's data centers, and those data centers are just going to be used as another control mechanism against you and your family. Folks, let's go ahead and look at some of the other events. Speaking of data centers, let's go ahead and look at this.
Yep, because they don't need data centers
As a skin look, or as people die,
to
into an algorithm to psychologically profile me. The square footage of the room is being calculated.
control the AI.
Surveillance. That's why big tech wants the data centers. Now, I know as a public person, there's no way around it for me.
And
so I don't
that's
try to
what they're going to be using the data centers for, is for that control for the beast system, for the mark.
just the need for the beast.
Let me tell you, I spent a lot of time in technology. I'm a programmer. You guys know that back when we were doing the news in 2 minutes, I developed an algorithm that would search not just what Americans have access to, not just Westerners would have access to. I was using centers in multiple languages,
tonight, take a
multiple
bath in
countries
the morning,
to see what those countries were
get up
saying,
early,
translating it to English and building, and that's how we got to where we are today. Building a platform so that we could see what was happening.
If
all
not,
across
I
the
might
world.
just wash
So when
my
I
hair
say
and
that I
sleep in
know
the
the
morning.
power of algorithmic technology, let me tell you, I know it to my core. Every possible action that you would take is already being mapped out. You, as a
I had to wet my
person,
hair down.
have a file that
It was
big
all
government
poofy.
looks at, not with their own eyes, but with a computer. And that computer tells them your likely course of action, that tells them what you might be triggered into doing, how likely you are to be a violent offender, how much push can you take before you'll be pushed back? Will you turn left or right when you get out of your house? What time do
I
you
have
go
an
to the
itchy
bathroom?
spot in my
What your
nose, like
average calorie
dry.
intake
Sorry, I wasn't
is
picking my
literally
nose. It was itchy.
Than you know yourself. And so unlike this individual that we just watched who says he doesn't do anything to throw it off, I'm just telling you to do everything you can. Enjoy the football and sports that you don't normally enjoy. You like arcades? Well, make sure they know you like playing poker. You like going to the range? Make sure that they also know that you like a little bit of, playing, Uno at a bit or bingo. You go to bingo all the time. Post on Facebook how much you love bingo and how you were at this location. Do everything that you can, folks, because the time to be as gray as you can was yesterday.
Yep.
But the time right now is for you and your family to be ready for what comes next. And it is more like Terminator than it is not.
Hi, my name is Rachel Mast.
Forgive me if this video did not come off as super polished, but I never do this and I don't have any social media. I just made this account to talk to you. I wanted to share what's happening over at my house in Fayette County. This is my porch and this is my backyard. This is the site of the new Georgia Power transmission line. They will be taking a third of our 2-acre property to build a 150-foot right-of-way for a 500 kilovolt line.
So not only is this young lady going to be living under high frequency lines, they used eminent domain to do this. Across the world, across the country, they are taking over private land to put up data centers. Those data centers are not for your benefit. Let me ask you the last time you think you benefited from higher electricity prices, worse water quality, higher cost of water, and a more thumb down on your position point of view. You never
Daniela,
have.
go
It's
lay
just the
down.
beginning. We just saw wheat explode after the USDA forecasted a
Data centers are bad news. Let's see. Let's bring this one up.
And my biggest concern is that good afternoon, everyone. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival with today's Red Alert News. We have messages coming in from farmers across our country saying that we have 6 months to prepare. Now, if you're like me and you need about 6 years worth of food stocked up to rafters, that means the time was yesterday to start getting ready. Make your way to Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, do whatever it takes to stockpile staple goods: rice, flour, sugar, oil, spices, meat, protein in a can, vegetables in a can. More importantly than that, start a crop. Whether it's herbs or tomatoes, cucumbers, potatoes, I don't care.
Get your
what it is.
garden
One
started,
acre
get
land,
your homesteads going,
pounds of potatoes.
get your homesteading books.
Get with somebody that does. Help them. Put in the
Start getting
investment
your
time.
preps.
Get ready because we are about to be a nation of starvation. The United States of America is going to experience harder times than we ever have as a direct transfer of wealth is happening from the low class, the middle class, directly into the pocketbooks of the politicians and the corporates. We are seeing the great American dream turned on its head. I don't know what they're shoveled, buried, and never to be seen again. I want you to see what they're doing at the corporate level. This is
there's a spray
Now, I've
bottle
never
out
used
here.
Zaxby's before, but I do know that quality everywhere is decreasing. Tell me if you're seeing something like this in your area.
They knocked the coffee pot.
I cannot make this up.
They were probably in that cupboard.
Yes, they were.
No, there's a spray bottle right there, and it does actually work.
I closed it, but if
Not the point.
I literally tried.
if they do it again, I'll have it.
It's
So
not
keep
the
talking
point,
about right now
Scott.
something that is happening where they
That works better
they're
than
actually
chewing
putting
them out
cellulose
somewhere.
products and chemical products into flavored paper. They make it taste like chicken. They put it in the fryer so that it gets a crispy edge. They feed it to
Flavored
you for
paper.
about $40 to
Check
feed a
your
family.
meat, you guys.
While
Don't be
they're
getting
second
meat from odd places.
location. They're
Stay away from fast food for one.
Workers are suffering literally every day. Watch out. Do not be eating their poison. Do everything you can to stay away from it.
From the beginning, our citizens have shared a deep sense of mutual respect. Founding Father Benjamin Franklin published the sayings of Confucius in his colonial newspaper. And today's sculpture, recognizing that ancient Chinese sage is carved into the face of the United States Supreme Court. Very proud of.
This is Donald Trump, and this scares me because what I'm seeing is the literal one world government starting to reign its power. Data centers across the USA, across Saudi Arabia, across Pakistan, across India, across China, across Taiwan, across Japan, across the Philippines, across all of Europe. One world government is exactly the plan. And that means that you don't have much time to plan for your family. You better start living like cockroaches like me as soon as you can. Here we have India discussing BRICS.
Excellencies, colleagues, namaskar, a very good morning, good relations. As chair, I thank each delegation for their presence
Okay, I don't want to get to all of what the Indian's saying here. The Indian government is saying that they must begin to work on a new government that is completely devoid of the United States of America. What did I miss here? This was as the president, the leader of China, communist China, was shaking the hands of major U.S. government officials. Look at when he gets to Stephen Miller. So you see him shake the hands. You see he hits Scott Bessent, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth. I want you to just pay close attention to his body language. It's just a shake, a nod, something that's said. Again, another shake, a nod, something that's said. Look at when he gets to Stephen Miller. A shake, a pause, another pause. And you can see even on Stephen Miller's face, he knows something else was happening here. Watch again. This is important. I don't know what we're seeing, and maybe you guys have an idea you can put down in the comments.
Interesting. I missed that when I watched this the other day. Go lay down. Go.
Treasury.
Go lay down.
Department of War. It goes down.
Go.
A nod, maybe a thank you. Then he gets to Stephen Miller. And you see President Trump right behind him as he looks at Pete Hegseth, the Department of War. There's a lot of hidden communication happening.
Yeah.
Eyebrows, gets to Stephen Miller, and a pause that everyone seems to notice. Even Scott Bessent peeks around the corner to kind of question what just happened here. This was very outside of protocol. You can see right now that something is being played out. And my biggest concern is that we are literally watching the new world government being constructed. As a prepper and a survivalist, this means that you basically have months. You literally have months. And I've never been one to come out and say, listen, time ran out. But let me tell you, countries around our world are banding together, even the people. Look at Cuba suffering financial and fuel embargoes. The people right now are rioting and protesting. Do you also know what they're doing? They're all moving in together. They're planting as much food as they can. They're defending what they have. Just like governments are right now understanding that you can only defend what you can militarily or tactically hold on to, people are starting to wake up to that too. For your group, whether that's your family, you and your goldfish, I really don't care. Your survival group, no matter what it is, you only keep what you can hold. You can only hold what you can militarily or tactically keep. You need to get to a range. You need to get to a fishing ground. Find your hot spots. Learn how to find where the deer, the hogs, the squirrel, no matter what it is. You know why our country is here today? It's because your grandparents and your great-grandparents, they all survived famine, pestilence, and plague. They survived World War. They survived economic collapse. And right now, you have to survive that. Or else your children or the children of your loved ones will not. You must plant food. Learn natural medicine. Learn to hunt. Learn to fish. Learn to trap.
Natural medicine is going to be one of my next things. I've got to get out there and get it. I got to stop putting
What are you
it
going to do
off.
when you're sleeping? How do you quick react to something? Learn the OODA loop. Learn all of these things, and you have to do it like time is running out.
Hey, you guys, it's Ansley from Coweta County, Georgia, fighting for my mom's house that's being taken by eminent domain. Today, I'm here with Senator Greg Dolezal, showing him my mom's property that
decisions and votes have downstream implications that affect real families and real people.
All right, hold on, guys. All right.
Cooler down
That one.
Welcome to my room. I'm having a hard time finding a match on Black Ops with anything approaching a good connection.
I'm sorry.
You live right now. That's why.
Sorry.
You could have said something.
Sorry. I've been sniffing my shoes.
Well, that explains that, I suppose.
Yes, I let them back out because of the fact that they were knocking the blanket down. And there goes one of the kittens. All the way out here.
I was trying to let Char back in the living room, but I opened the door a crack and the kitten just ran out here. They were waiting.
Stinker. Oh, that's the one that I was. That's the one I'll do next. I think that is, yep, that's that one.
They were
Right
no
there.
more waiting the door.
I believe it.
So back.
I believe it.
Trying to paw their way through the door.
Call me a conspirator.
I believe it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I guess I'm not doing that very well.
I don't think I'll be on for a whole lot longer. I'm tired.
Dang it, Patches, get down from there. Put you back in the living room.
I'm not going to spray him while he's in your hands.
He's sitting up there, kind of freaking fat.
You sprayed me yesterday, earlier.
On the freaking. Here, I'll turn this off so they stop collecting. Mom, you're gonna have to do it.
Boots was up there. Yeah. She probably wants to go lay down. Ugh.
Ugh.
I'm exhausted. All right, so
Doing.
I'll show you guys. I have to. Really? He's gonna rip that blanket down. Hannah's asleep in the bathroom.
I'll show you guys.
Picture of a garden. All right. Show you guys the picture of the garden real quick.
Oh, I didn't send that to you.
Hey,
Sorry.
butthole.
Hold on, I'm opening.
Somebody sends me the picture. All right. The one that I really wanted. This one talking about, or he's talking about, we have about a
Doing. They work for you, but they don't have.
Okay.
You have every right to know what the government is doing. They work for you, but they don't have the right to know every detail about your life. That's why they are called the public servants and you are called a private citizen. But now everything feels backwards. The government hides things behind secrecy, behind classified documents, national security matters, and blacked out reports while expecting full access to all of your money, all of your messages,
Send it on Messenger,
your location
too.
data, and your personal behavior. And so we see that when the people in power get privacy, but the ordinary people are constantly watched, we have fully entered into tyranny. Now, here in the United States of America, your home is becoming the largest source for big tech's expansion. Americans are being told that artificial intelligence is for you. This is your future. But you're the one paying for it. You didn't ask for it. Across the country, giant AI data centers are moving into communities where they consume massive amounts of water and electricity. Residents are already seeing rising utility bills, lower water pressure, poisoning water systems, and growing strains on local infrastructure. These facilities require millions of gallons of water to keep the servers cool. They do this day and night, 24 hours a day. At the same time, the utilities are scrambling to upgrade the power grids to meet the demand. Working families are effectively subsidizing trillion-dollar companies while they struggle with the efforts of inflation. And for what? They're going to use it to control you. We have seen a one world government rise out
There's
of
the garden.
between the U.S. President Donald Trump and the leadership in China. This one
Kinda
world
hard to
government
see, but
will mirror exactly what is happening in the communist nation of China. You will have
There you
zero privacy. You will have a digital
the
identification,
garden looks
whether
like.
you know it and
I got it
subscribe to it
done.
or not.
So
The government will make you one, just like they make you a social security number. You will have no access to privacy. You will be told where you can work, when you can work, whether you're a good boy or a bad girl. The U.S. government is coming for you. And this is what tyranny looks like. They call AI campuses and data centers
you're not
the
getting
future of America. Across rural America, these
Our
massive
farm.
server compounds are consuming farmland, water, and staggering amounts of electricity. But the most shocking thing that we are seeing is the example that was proposed at the Stratus project in Utah. 40,000 acres tied to this development. The projected power demand is 9 gigawatts more than Utah's entire statewide electricity use. Now, we did see multiple outlets, including Carlson,
Hey,
recently
guys.
confronting
Alright.
investors over
I'm
why this
headed out
project
to open up
is
the
being
trailer
pushed so quickly.
and
The
show you
pushback
guys stuff that I have
is
done
that it's
so
a
far.
matter of national security. Tell me what you think they're using national security for, to keep a watch on every single
Yeah, I was
American
trying to
citizen.
see if
You
I
have
already had that
entered
video
the
uploaded,
digital
and I do.
tyrannical state. A surveillance system capable of monitoring and shaping behavior on a massive scale. When you combine this with UBIs, digital IDs, CBDCs, predictive policing software, AI moderation systems,
All right. So
we can see that this is very, very far from the final stage. Now, officials in Coweta County are preparing for major land acquisition tied to this. The plans, in effect, are taking more than 330 private properties. This includes the full eminent domain acquisition of these properties. Infrastructure. In the U.S. state of U.S. state of Georgia, the company has moved with their plans to support large-scale data center development. They have taken, or are in the process of taking, over 300 properties. They will take hundreds more. They've stated that this is just their first attempt to realign with a national security interest. Folks, I want to go ahead and dive deep into some of the events that are happening out in our world. Let's go ahead and take a. This is your future, America. This is a real billboard. This is in one of our states. It looks like a major metropolitan. The billboard says, "Stop hiring humans."
I'm gonna delete some of the stuff on my phone. It's the only
Here it
reason
is
I'm
again,
messing
another
with it,
billboard,
you know.
Bayfront Park. Stop hiring humans. The era of AI employees is here. This particular company, which is named Artisan, what they do is they get rid of 600,000 jobs and replace them with AI. This means that they're going to use AI for everything like emailing systems, list building, lead generation, prospect.
Keep on your subscriptions, you guys. YouTube did it again. We're down to 325, and we had 326.
Casualty events were declared at this main explosion, they say, at a lumber mill.
Keep
Now,
an
if
eye
you
on
look
your
at this, is this
subscriptions.
another natural event, or is this another act of sabotage in the USA? And I would be one to be very interested in whether or not that was near a prospected data center. Here we have another one. This is the Hungate, a fire. This is in Texas. Destroyed homes, destroyed railroad corridors and the entire railroad system there and destroyed vehicles. Look at this entire town. Now, when you're looking at this, flat land, already had electricity, what does this look like to you? This looks like we're about to see a data center swipe in and sweep up this entire region. Here we have the railroad track with a drone overview. Going over it, you can see that it's completely demolished. There's no way that they're going to bring this back without massive infrastructural redevelopment. You have the homes, you have everything that was damaged, the vehicles. Folks, this is scary. Listen to Thomas Massey.
Being the nail that sticks up is the force of the whole swamp has come down on me, and it's billionaires. It's not a grassroots funded thing. It's not like a bunch of MAGA, activists have said, I'm going to send $20 to this guy in Kentucky so he can beat Thomas Massey. It's predominantly 3 billionaires who are upset that I've never voted for foreign aid, particularly foreign aid to Israel.
There you have him saying right there, for the last 18 months, he says he has been basically blackwalled. They have a monopoly on all of the information. They say that this is not a locally organized group. This is 3 billionaires. They are hedge fund managers. They are gambling magnates. What they've done is they've become upset that he will not tie himself to another state. Here in the USA, we're seeing warnings from the FBI and the CIA and everybody else that we're going to see drone attacks across American soil in the not too distant future. I've talked recently, including yesterday's broadcast, about the drones that they're watching out for, shipping container drones. Here we have video of a UAE defense firm who's developing just that. So you see that device with a non-explosive tip. These are going to be one-way attack drones, and they suggest that we're going to see this. They know that they could not get enemy state non-intercontinental ballistic missiles to hit the USA. And the reason that they look for intercontinental ballistic missiles is because you have to tie that to a group. And the United States would use nuclear weapons before those missiles ever hit us here in the USA. If we started to see that kind of attack, you would see a Hiroshima. You would see a nuclear fallout world before the missile touched, maybe except the Satan II missile from Russia here in the USA. But they say that these one-way attack drones in multiple forms, all the way
Nebula,
from
go
DJI
away.
that you can buy at Amazon or
Go lay
at
down.
consumer,
I don't mean to be mean.
all the way up
Go
to
lay
the
down.
top, like these, are coming
I know, you probably want to just go to
city
bed.
near you. Now, when you start seeing this type of event
Alright.
flying overhead, you are not going to witness
Sorry, I lost my
people
brain for a
quitting their
second.
jobs. You're
I
not going to see them
apologize.
stop going to school. They'll keep paying their debt. They will get foreclosed on their mortgages. They will have their cars repossessed, but life will go on. And so as a prepper and a survivalist, you also have to prepare for life to go on. Here we have Nissan. Now, in yesterday's video,
So we have about a year.
motor oil shortages. And we did have doing. They
All
were
right. I'll play a little bit of this one.
Call me a conspirator, call me whatever you want. We just had our next global pandemic outbreak take place, according to some experts. Now there's an Ebola outbreak in the DR Congo. I'm already getting lots of questions, so I'm just going to filter to you.
Make
what I
sure
know.
you get
They say that this outbreak
the
is
videos out there, like and share the videos.
over 300 suspected cases.
Remember,
death rate.
YouTube will unsubscribe
About
people,
this outbreak
so
weeks after
keep an
it
eye on your
started.
subscriptions.
Unlike the
They
other
just did it
ones,
today because we had 326 and we went down one,
running
so
incubation period. This makes it hard to find.
I'll
all
have
the
to send
contacts that we have
feedback
because
and tell them
they're
to put
rural
my
areas.
subscriber back.
This is in a very rough place. The outbreak is centered around the east side of the DR Congo, in a place with a lot of military conflict. A lot of terrorism happens there. They have a lot of cross-border traffic as people move to make money through different areas, and they have huge amounts of hospital instability. There are also cases, according to the reports, in the big cities. This means we have a faster spread in the urban environment. Now, we have seen reports from individuals that work there. They say it's a very tough spot to get any sort of medical help. There was an outbreak that grew up to over 3,000 cases, but here's the most worrying part. According to the experts, they say that this is not your mother's Ebola. Most outbreaks have been the Zaire strain. That's the one that they have treatments for. This one, they say, makes you bleed out of your eyeballs and your nostrils, makes your organs liquefy inside of your body. This is the Bundibugyo strain. It's caused by a new outbreak, and they say that it's known in Uganda. There's no treatment for
Boots,
this.
get down.
Now, my initial looking into it shows that this is not good, but they are going to use it at the political scale for their gain. I am watching closely, and I'm going to bring you any information as I hear it. Speaking of information that affects us here in the great US of A, U.S. farm bankruptcies just increased 46%, so almost 50% year over year. The Midwest and the Southeast are being hit the hardest. We have filings up 70% in the Midwest and the Southeast. Now we have wheat exploding, and farmers are saying that they just can't handle it anymore. President Donald Trump just issued a warning to Taiwan. He says, do not make moves to make yourself independent from China. Speaking with the news agency, Trump emphasized that maintaining stability in the Asian Pacific is the top priority for the United States of America. And he has said that the USA does not support provoking a conflict with China over this issue. In his direct quote, President Trump says, we are not looking to have wars. And if you kept it the way it is, China's going to be okay with it. Trump said this during an interview, and he also made clear that Washington and the Pentagon's position is to not encourage Taiwan to declare independence under any sort of assumption that the United States of America will be there to militarily back them. Now, I believe that Donald Trump did this for two reasons. One,
I just sent him feedback and told him to knock it off.
coming. And two, they made a deal. If you do not back Iran, we will not back Taiwan. Right now, folks, is the time to grow your own food. This is the only answer that you have. You need to expand any.
Get your gardens going.
In fact, yesterday, me and my brother went and picked up from our group member a tiller of mine that goes on the back of my tractor. We're going to go balls to the wall here and try to get as much food into the ground as we can. But the biggest thing that we're preparing for is potatoes. 1 acre grows 20,000 pounds of potatoes. Now, you eat potatoes, you're going to not have a healthy life. But if you supplement your staple goods with potatoes and you hunt and you fish and you grow a little veggie, you're going to live a good long life. So please get as many bucket gardens and potatoes into the ground as you possibly can. The United States.
They are knocking stuff down in there.
30% loss in its buying power. The American families are feeling it. The same paycheck that used to get you there is no longer doing it. President Trump made it clear that America's posture on the world stage just changed. This was after his meeting with the Chinese president, where the Chinese president openly described the USA as being perhaps a nation in decline. Now, Trump referenced this a little bit, and he pointed to the failures of Joe Biden and previous Democrat administrations, including open borders, rising crime policies to inclusivize everybody, inflation and economic weakness. But he said that the military strength of the United States of America has never been more prominent, and that any country that dares to contest the U.S. military will be a country that no longer survives. Now, I believe that we have our CIA working very hard on that.
Get your gardens planned, get them started.
Into countries that are against America.
Mandy, I will get on doing some container gardening videos. Said you're moving in with your fiance.
Nuclear equipment. A source.
Is it out in the country, in the city? Can you have a container garden? Can you do an actual homestead? Let me know, and I'll see what kind of help I can get you.
Operation that will strike into 25% of the Iranian remaining targets. Iran just issued an order to their army. Said that immediately they will activate all of their missile systems, which remain at 90% operational capacity. They will strike every U.S. and Israeli base in the Gulf region. They will attack Gulf power stations. This will trigger, according to experts, a global economic paralysis, as well as a prolonged regional war that will so-called end the American influence in the Middle East. Here in the USA, we have cattle ranchers across the country warning that the U.S. Department of Agriculture just projected that the United States will import a record $6 billion of beef this year. This has nothing to do with rebuilding America.
Be careful.
This has nothing to do with alleviating America.
Because again, once again, you should have done that before you took a bath.
Is wiping out the American cattlemen, forcing American
He
consumers
falls down them
to be
stairs
permanently dependent
because he was stupid.
and foreign.
And I'm not going to be happy with him.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of the events we have happening around our world. This is in the U.S. state of Georgia.
Brianna Rice, Robinson Road, speaking for myself. I'm 28 years old. While most people my age are planning vacations, I'm spending my time for fighting for survival of my cattle farm. I'm here because a massive data center was approved just a couple of miles from my land, Project Cell, and I'm being hounded by Georgia Power for an easement to build transmission lines through my property for the FET data center. I'm a local farmer, not an industrial developer. These 500 kV lines aren't for me. They are for the data centers that the boards and surrounding counties continue to approve. I have mail from lawyers stacking up on my kitchen table, wanting to take my case because they know my land is being targeted for eminent domain.
Eminent domain. That is something that you need to get into your head.
Careful,
because
you
you're gonna
guys.
hear it over and over again here in the USA as the corporations and corrupt.
Well, as you guys can see, things are heating up. Things are getting... They're very quickly getting... coming to a peak. He's correct, and we have about a year. It gives us a little bit of time. Not a lot, not enough, but a little. We still have to get our water figured out, but it does give me some time to get some rainwater collection barrels. It gives me some time to get the cast iron pump and try to get some help getting it installed. But the main thing is you guys get your gardens going. Get your gardens planned, get them going. As much as possible. You need to be able to plant food, grow your own food. And if you can have some chickens, get some chickens. You can do a garden for them to feed them. You don't have to buy feed. I mean, we do, but I am going to be growing their food. So now during the winter, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan on there being a spot in the greenhouse. I'd also like to do a cold frame for a chicken garden. I got to do a lot more research on other farm animals that we want, on how to deal with winter for them. But like I said, things are coming to a peak. But let's get your gardens planned, get things going. It's really important. It really, really is. So I think I'm gonna kind of call it with that for the night, I'm going to be working on more videos for I will work on the series. Ugh. I think I might work on some beginning gardening videos. I'm actually at they took away a again. That's not okay. It's just not okay. Now the garden is done, so well that one. So really, Char. Um anyway, so I'm gonna try to work on get some gardening videos out. So I can start like helping to get you guys going in the right direction with that. I'm also gonna probably start planting this week. I'm gonna have to refigure my garden again. I'm too tired to think about it right now. See what we got. So I know I have a lot of gardening videos. Okay, I don't know why that's in my garden. That should be in fruit trees.
I'm gonna close the door. All the cats are in here.
Yeah, I guess.
Huh?
I guess. I mean, this might be a good one to start with. I'm not going to do it tonight on this, but planting a survival garden for food and medicine. So I'm probably it's going to take a complete different turn on part 8. I think it is. And go with planting a survival garden for food and medicine. Might be part 9. But yeah, it's part 9. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Before I close out, though, there's one thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave you guys with this.
300 perennial What? Over 3 crops planted in the ground. The foundation of the farm is set. Today, we'll jump into what has been done and we'll also take a hop. What's going on, growers? It's James Figione coming to you live from Jersey. Today, I'm going to share with you a style of gardening that will easily double your harvest and drastically reduce both work and effort. Let's go. In essence,
Okay, I'm gonna pull up 2 of James Prigione's videos.
What I suggest you do, if possible, is make your own.
This is on raised garden beds.
Coming to you live from Jersey.
And they are a really good idea.
Raised garden bed for cheap. That will kick out more food than you ever thought possible. Have been growing in raised beds for years, and in my opinion, it's the easiest, most effective way for backyard gardeners to grow a garden that produces massive, consistent harvests. After you have your garden bed built, if it's wood, or assembled, if it's metal, the big question is, how the heck do we fill it, and with what? If you get a deep bed like this one, and try to fill the whole thing with quality soil, it would be so expensive and also a waste because most annuals only need about 12 to 14 inches of quality soil. If you try to fill the whole base of it with native soil,
I'm hoping that I
will
have
likely
enough
ruin your drainage because
for the
native soil
roots to go deep enough.
It's just too dense. And what can happen is it could rain and the whole thing could fill up like a bucket, and then no air would be able to get into the soil. The soil could go anaerobic, and that would potentially kill the roots of your plants. Fortunately, there's a few free, convenient ways to fill the bottom of our beds, which will aid in drainage, improve the soil over time, and add organic matter, which will help massively with water retention. After we fill our beds, we'll get into what soil is best, and I'll also show you how to prep your beds for planting. But before we do that, let's get into the free, highly beneficial way to turn wasted space into a wicking water battery. I have a few different effective techniques which have worked great.
There's 2 of the beds that I have saved that I'm gonna be getting.
Logs, preferably rotted ones because they're lighter and
They
more
see
effective
them.
for water retention sooner, and place them at the base of our raised bed. You can use logs that aren't rotted as well. One year I had to remove an old pear tree and I used those logs to fill the base of my bed, but they'll take longer to get the full beneficial effect that you get from rotted logs. The deeper your bed, the more logs you can add. For this bed, it's almost 3 feet tall. I filled the first 1.5 feet or so with rotted logs. I know this method works because I've done it in the past with this bed right here. Then, after a few years, I went and dug up the logs that I buried. The logs that I dug up had turned into sponges and held water. When I squeezed them, water would pour out. And some of the logs even had roots growing in them. The plants were able to access moisture from the logs when needed. And the logs also helped keep the bed hydrated by wicking up water during the dry season. After that, you can add some smaller sticks or some composted garden material. What we want to do is have a layer of organic matter that will break down a bit quicker to help feed our soil organisms. Quick note, we want to make sure we're not adding a bunch of green and brown material into our bed and then burying it during the spring at this time of year. What we don't want to do is like take a bunch of grass clippings and a bunch of leaves and then bury them, because what will happen is the composting process will be initiated and the bacteria needs water in order for that composting to happen. So that water will essentially be getting robbed from the roots of your plants in order for the composting to happen. If you want to do this in the fall and then allow the composting process to happen through the winter, that's a different story. After adding smaller sticks or composted garden scraps or whatever you have around, we can add a layer of soil. I use old compost I have laying around that may have mixed with my native soil, or even old soil that I used for growing in containers that has roots in it still. The point of this layer of soil is to fill any gaps between the logs. This way, when we put our quality soil in, it doesn't just sink down the first time we water. To help with this, I like to jump into the bed and compact the soil down as much as I can with my feet. Now, we only have about 12 to 14 inches of the bed to fill instead of almost 30 feet. What if you don't have access to rotted logs? Or if you aren't able to lift a bunch of heavy logs and place them in your bed? Well, I have an easily accessible free alternative that works just as well.
Don't leave them there. I'm not going to eat them now.
Wood chips. Ideally, you want to use rotted wood chips or wood chips that have sat for a year or so. If you use fresh wood chips with leaves in them, they can start to compost down and will rob your plant's roots of water. Not to mention, fresh wood chips will break down more than rotted ones will.
Get down.
They'll work, but the soil level will sink down than if you use rotted wood chips. So this raised bed right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the light out there.
With wood chips. I filled it scoop by scoop. And although it took a good amount, overall it was much easier than lifting heavy logs and having to reach into the center of the bed and place them. The wood chips will give us very similar benefits like the logs do. Wood is just incredible as it starts to rot. It has the ability to retain water like a sponge, but it also has the ability to displace water when necessary, and it still has air in it. So it's just ideal to put underneath our soil. I think it's a lot better than something like gravel, in my opinion, because yes, gravel will help with drainage, but it does not help with water retention. Wood chips will help.
Here's
with
my
both.
cocoa.
For wood chips, I fill them up to about 18 inches from the top of my bed. Then I add a few inches of a buffer layer of soil. So if my roots do stretch below 12 inches, they have a bit of soil to tap into and not just wood chips. For this, I use old soil from potted plants, or you can use some old compost you have laying around. At this point, our beds are mostly
That
filled
was the
or
cocoa
full.
blitz. I've used
Plus,
that
you're getting
before.
a
I
bunch
used
of
that
benefits from what we added at the bottom. Now, you only
There's
have
the
about
worm
12
cast.
inches left to fill. If you have a shorter raised bed, like this one, it's about 17 inches. You can put a few inches of wood chips at the bottom or even compost. Just make sure you leave at least 12 inches for quality soil. If you do put wood chips at the bottom of your bed, though, make sure that you layer them. You don't want to mix them into the soil. If you do that, it will cause a soil stomachache, and the wood chips will rob nitrogen from your soil. If your raised bed is only about 10 to 12 inches tall, I suggest adding some cardboard at the bottom.
My phone internet's been terrible lately.
We've
been having problems.
Poking up through and
We were having problems at
Next,
work.
we need to fill our beds with soil, and there are a number of different options. A super
He's not
cheap
trying to
one
get out of
would
my
be
hands
to
right now.
find a place that can deliver compost to you locally, preferably a cow manure compost that's
This one
fully
doesn't
aged.
usually like being held,
It's
so
not
I'm
something
surprised
that
he's
I would
staying.
put my beds and plant directly into, but some people do, and they say they have success with it. You could also buy bag soil like this, a raised bed soil mix, but it's pretty expensive. And in my opinion, the soil really isn't that great. The structure is something that's lacking, and it just seems like it's a lot of sticks. What I suggest you
A lot
do,
of
if
sticks.
possible, is make your own soil.
I found that
That's what I
problem
do.
with
And the
quite a
results
few
are unbelievable. We're talking
things of potting soil as well.
You can make a fantastic soil mix with only 3 ingredients. You can use
Daniel,
cocoa
stop.
coir or peat moss for the base. Either one will work, but I prefer to use cocoa coir. Then we need some compost. You can use a mushroom compost or a cow manure compost. Most of the time, I'll use a mushroom compost because I can get it locally.
Do not want her
And the
putting
third ingredient, what we want to use, is
holes
perlite.
in my
Perlite
pants.
will help with drainage and will also help keep our soil
They're not
moist
gonna
and
put
light,
holes in
so
your
it's
pants.
easy for the roots to move through. I have a few videos going into detail on how I make my soil. So if you want an in-depth version of that, you can check it out. After we choose our soil, next, we just add it to the top 12 inches or so of our bed. Then we can go by and level it all out. At this point, we would be ready to plant, but I suggest you go by and add some all-purpose organic fertilizer to your bed.
You would be blown away by how much a difference just a little bit of organic fertilizer will make with the health of your plants and the overall production. If you use an organic fertilizer, you really won't have to worry about burning your plants, and it will help support and increase the life in the soil. Then, if you want, you can add some plant-specific fertilizer to help boost growth even more. I like using this blood meal when planting my lettuce and also going by and adding a top dressing of it because it's super high in nitrogen, and lettuce we're just growing for the leaves. So the nitrogen will really boost the growth. Let me show you what I do. I'll just take some blood meal like this. You can see these lettuces looking beautiful right here, super healthy. We'll just take some of this blood meal and sprinkle it around the base of the plant, just like this, not too much. Then I'll just mix it into the top few inches lightly. After that, I'll go by and water it in. We're supposed to get some rain here tonight, so I'll just leave it. That will just help, again, boost the growth of these leaves. And it's lettuce, so we're just growing it for the leaves. If there's something like tomatoes or something, we wouldn't want to use this.
I
as a
don't
tomato
know
starter.
if I'm gonna
This is too
try
high. For
to
things that are fruiting, we want to focus on the fruit,
get
not on the leafy green. So blood meal, it's specific.
the
Don't use
ingredients
it,
to make
definitely
a
helps.
bunch of soil
When it comes to a garden,
to add on
it's
top
really
of what
all
we
about
have out
finding
there.
the best
We don't have that much time. We have
the roots of our plants. Healthy roots means healthy
okay.
plants that are productive. that fight off
Technically, you
disease
should
and
be.
just
We have to get the
never
garden
stop
planted by
producing.
the last
So
weekend of
building
the month.
base
So
or
we have a
foundation in our
couple of
beds
weeks.
to help support soil and improve the soil over time is super beneficial. It
But
will
I
help
don't think I'm
with
going to have the
retention of
money
water and
over
also
a
the
couple of
drainage of water.
weeks
And by focusing on the soil and
to
also
get
what goes underneath the soil, what we'll do is just
all of
ensure
the
ourselves
stuff that I will
massive
need
productive beds
to
in
cover the
gardens that will
entire garden
so much
with the
food
homemade
for us.
soil.
Today's video, goers. Thanks for watching. I hope you
'Cause
enjoyed it. I
that's
hope you got
a
something
lot.
out of it. It's one of those days where the clouds are like over.
Yes, there's that video. Let me see.
We'll also take a hop. Yes.
I'll probably go into more of his
Also-
videos later. Char, you sound really pathetic. Oh, it's already late. And I am extremely tired, so. Anyway. I will work on getting gardening videos out. I will make sure I do videos when I start planting. I don't know if I'm gonna have the money. Like, I doubt I will. Like, I really doubt it. I very highly doubt it. I mean, it would cost a pretty penny to get all of the cocoa core and the vermiculite and the perlite and that extra potting soil and that extra compost. To make a bunch of it for the garden. So I don't see it happening. This phone's about ready to die, so I'll have to figure it out later. But I think I'm gonna get off from here, and I will be doing some gardening videos. Once again, keep your eye on your subscriptions, because YouTube will unsubscribe you. Just keep an eye on them. Like and share the videos. Click on the notification bell. Click on all to make sure you get all the notifications. And yeah, again, like and share the videos. Share them with everybody. On all your platforms with everybody you know. And tell them to share them. Get this information out there. Now, I know this might have been boring to some of you guys, but I did this video this way because I wanted you guys to understand how much it's coming down to the wire. It really, really, really is. Get your gardens planned, get them started, get your homesteads planned and started. Just, you're running out of time. Very quickly running out of time. So, it is very late in the game for even us to have to rebuild everything, basically. But thank God we have a decent start. I mean, we've had to start from scratch again. Like, and we didn't have a choice but to leave, or like in 2022. We did not have a choice. I mean, maybe there could have been another way, but I don't know. I really don't. But it did do Chloe a lot of good. And she is in a lot better place because of the fact that we left, and like she benefited greatly from it. So, and now she's with the man that God meant her to be with, and they're where God wants them right now. So, it's just going to take a lot of work, and we'll get there. We'll get there. God gave me the strength to get that garden done. And I know he did because I kept praying for it. So, also get your homesteading books, you guys. Oh, man. This upcoming week, I'm going to really work on getting the computer desk cleaned off and actually cleaned. And I'm going to get my homesteading books up there, my notebooks. That kind of thing. And I'll show you guys, my little collection that I have right now. And I'm going to keep adding to it. So, I will see you guys in the next video because I need to get some sleep. Probably be tomorrow. It'll definitely be tomorrow. So, I will see you guys then and get some sleep, and then start tomorrow. And I will see you guys then. Bye, guys.